At the beginning of the movie, we see a young prince who lives in a magnificent palace. Everything around him is grand and beautiful. He surrounds himself with luxury and only allows the most beautiful girls to enter his court, showering them with expensive gifts and attention. To him, beauty is everything. If someone is not beautiful, they are not worthy of respect. One dark night, a powerful storm strikes the kingdom. The wind howls, thunder roars, and rain pours heavily. In the middle of this terrifying storm, a poor old woman arrives at the palace gates, seeking shelter. She looks weak and tired. Her clothes are torn and her face is wrinkled with age. She knocks on the palace door, hoping the prince will show kindness. The old woman offers the prince a simple rose as a gift, presenting it with respect in his honor. But the prince looks at her and feels disgusted. He notices her old age and her unattractive appearance. Instead of feeling sympathy, he laughs at her. He mocks her poverty and insults her. Then, without any hesitation, he throws the rose to the ground. The old woman calmly tells him that true beauty is not found on the outside. She explains that real beauty lives in a person's heart, but the prince is too arrogant to listen. He refuses to understand her words, and suddenly, before his eyes, the old woman transforms into a stunningly beautiful lady. She reveals that she is actually a powerful enchantress who came disguised as an old woman to test the prince's heart. After seeing his cruelty and pride, she realizes that there is no love or kindness inside him. As punishment, she uses her magic to turn him into a terrifying beast. The prince begs her to forgive him. He pleads again and again, asking her not to curse him, but she refuses to listen. Because of his selfishness and lack of compassion, she casts a powerful spell over him and his entire palace. We then learn that the rose she had offered him was not an ordinary flower. It was a magical rose. Since he rejected her and her gift, she leaves the rose behind as part of the curse. The spell can only be broken if the prince learns to truly love someone and earns that person's love in return before the last petal of the enchanted rose falls. If he fails, once the final petal drops, he will remain a beast forever and will never become human again. Years pass, but no one dares to visit the lonely palace. The beast lives in isolation, slowly losing hope as the petals continue to fall, one by one. Not far from the palace, in a small nearby village, we meet a girl named Belle. Belle loves reading books and enjoys living in her own world of stories and imagination. She is intelligent, kind-hearted, and different from the other villagers. Belle lives with her father, who is a creative designer and inventor. He is loving, but sometimes a little absent-minded. In the same village, there is a man named Gaston. He is strong and handsome, but extremely proud and self-centered. Gaston wants to marry Belle not because he understands her, but because he sees her as the most beautiful girl in the village. However, Belle has no interest in marrying him. She finds him arrogant and shallow. Even though Gaston tries many times to impress her and make her his own, all his efforts fail. One day, Belle's father has to travel through the forest for some work. The road is dark and lonely. On his way, he notices fire blocking one path, so he turns his horse toward another route. As he rides deeper into the forest, he suddenly hears the terrifying howls of wolves. The wolves begin chasing him. Frightened for his life, he rides faster and faster, trying to escape. While running from the wolves, he stumbles upon a mysterious palace hidden in the forest, the Beast's Palace. Desperate for safety, Belle's father rushes inside. The palace seems empty at first glance. However, candles are lit and a table is set with delicious food, as if someone lives there. Hungry and exhausted, he begins to eat. Suddenly, something unexpected happens. The objects in the palace begin to speak to him. Belle's father becomes confused and frightened. He thinks some strange creature is trying to scare him. Trying to gather courage, he says that he is not afraid. But fear takes over and he runs outside into the garden. There, he sees beautiful flowers blooming. He remembers that Belle had asked him to bring her a flower. Thinking only of his daughter's happiness, he plucks a rose from the garden. At that very moment, the beast appears. Furious that someone has stolen from his garden, he captures Belle's father and imprisons him as punishment. Meanwhile, the horse escapes and runs back to the village alone. When Belle sees the horse return without her father, she immediately senses that something is wrong. Without wasting a moment, she mounts the horse and rides towards the forest to find him. The horse leads her to the mysterious palace. Inside, Belle searches desperately. The palace feels alive. She can hear whispers and movements, but she cannot see anyone clearly. She calls out loudly, but no one answers her directly. Finally, she finds her father locked away as a prisoner. He warns her in panic that the entire palace is enchanted and alive. He explains that he broke a flower for her, and because of that small mistake, the master of the palace imprisoned him. Belle insists that she must save her father. Just as she tries to act, the beast appears before her. He is huge, frightening, and powerful. Anyone would be terrified at the sight of him, and even though Belle is scared, she does not show her fear. She bravely demands to see her father. The beast refuses at first. Belle accuses him of being cruel, saying that giving such a harsh punishment for a small mistake is unfair. She admits that her father broke the flower for her and that she is responsible. With determination in her voice, she declares that she will meet her father at any cost. The beast tells Belle that once this door is opened and then closed again, it will never open a second time. As soon as he says this, he unlocks the door. Belle rushes inside and finally meets her father. But instead of escaping with him, she makes a quick decision. She pushes her father out of the room and then shuts the door herself. Now, according to the beast's own words, the door can never be opened again. This means he cannot force her back inside. In this way, Belle takes her father's place as the prisoner. Keeping his promise, the beast releases her and has him sent away from the palace. Now, Belle is trapped in the palace instead of her father. After some time, when the beast is not around, two strange figures approach Belle, a clock and a candlestick. Although they look like ordinary objects, they are not. They were once human beings, but because of the enchantress's curse, they have been transformed into household items. Even in this form, they can speak, hear, walk, and think like humans. They gently open the door and tell Belle not to be afraid. They invite her to come with them and explain that they will give her a separate, comfortable room to stay in. Deep inside, they believe that Belle might be the one who can finally break the curse and free them all. They prepare a beautiful room for her. When the beast finds out that they have been helping Belle, he becomes furious. He scolds the clock and the candlestick angrily, but they try to calm him. They tell him that Belle could be the girl who will end their suffering. They advise him to try to be kind to her, to spend time with her, and perhaps even fall in love with her. They suggest that he should invite Belle to have dinner with him. Hearing this, the beast loses his temper. He shouts at them and says, "Have you both gone mad? Why would I invite a thief's daughter to dine with me? That is impossible." However, after much insistence from all the cursed servants who are suffering because of him, he finally agrees. In the end, he is the reason they are all cursed. The beast goes to Belle's room and tells her firmly that she will join him for dinner. He makes it clear that this is not a request, but an order. Belle looks at him with anger and disbelief. She says, "Are you insane? First you imprisoned my father, then you trapped me here, and now you expect me to have dinner with you?" The beast slams his hand against the door in frustration and says that no matter what happens, she will eat with me. Belle bravely replies that she would rather starve to death than sit at the table with him. In anger, the beast responds, "Fine. If that is your wish, then so be it. No one will bring you food. you will die of hunger. Even after this threat, Belle refuses to open the door. Eventually, the beast storms away. The way Belle stood up to him convinced all the enchanted objects, the clock, the candlestick, the teapot, the cup, that she truly is different. They are now certain that she is the one who can break the curse and free them all. Later, we see the beast standing before the enchanted rose. He notices that many petals have already fallen. This is the same magical rose that determines his fate. When the last petal falls, he will remain a beast forever, and all the enchanted servants of the palace will stay trapped in their object forms for eternity. Only a few petals are left, and time is running out. Meanwhile, Belle's father has returned to the village. He desperately tells everyone that his daughter is in danger. He speaks of a palace